As we welcome Gonzaga representatives to the stage, we'll remind you of the format, where we will take a brief opening statement from Coach, then direct questions to student-athletes, to specific student-athletes, hopefully. And then once the student-athletes are dismissed, we'll return to Coach. Coach?
It's a tough way to end the season. I realize that all but one coach has to come up here as the team that didn't win, but it's tough with this group, especially in my first year. I love these players and the way that they fought for each other and fought for us as a coaching staff this entire year, but especially the last couple weeks. And, Tennessee did a great job tonight, and obviously they deserve to win the game, but it's a tough way to end your season with people like this that I love so much.
We have Sonny Greinecker and Kiani Albanez present, so let's direct questions to Gonzaga student-athletes.
Tom Klaus, Spokes and Review. You guys are up 17 with 6:34 to go. Obviously, Tennessee dialed up that pressure in the defense. Just tell us a little bit about, from both of you, what it was like that last 6:34 before overtime and overtime when they dialed up that defense, and it just seemed like you guys couldn't get the shot to go.
Kiani?
I think we weren't ready for that at that time. We tried to rally and get back together. There was kind of a lot going on in your mind as a player, and they played us tough. So when someone's coming at us full throttle like that, it's hard to maintain our momentum. Yeah.
Sonny?
Yeah, I think they had to change something because we were really successful against them before. And the way they changed was really turning up the physicality and the defensive pressure. And I don't think we were surprised by it, but I don't think we had the right answers at that time.
Michelle Smith, ESPNW. Sonny, on the offensive end, did you feel like there were good shots and there were opportunities and things didn't fall, or was it completely a reflection of what they were doing defensively?
I think offensively we had a lot of good opportunities and a lot of good shots that we not only had but took and realized what we had. I think there were a lot of good opportunities inside for us that we took advantage of. Our guards were ready to shoot. So yeah, I think offensively there were a lot of good looks for us.
Matt Slavin, the Tennessean. At halftime, obviously the score is tied, but I imagine the two of you were feeling pretty good about the way things were going at that point.
And overtime? Halftime. Yeah, we told ourselves in the locker room that it is 0-0 because it literally basically was. And we took the confidence from the first half that we played well and that we were able to lead in that half and then stay even with them. And that you could see that in the first 5 minutes, especially in the second half. I think we came out ready. We came out ready to not end this game as even, but take the lead then. And yeah.
County, how much energy were you guys getting from the crowd?
A ton. Our fans are the best in the world to me, so they helped us tremendously. Yeah, you can definitely feel it, and it's a great environment to play in, and yeah.
Obviously, you guys both led the team, the two seniors, in scoring. Just reflect, if you will, a little bit about this year, and I know it just came to a crushing end, but just talk a little bit about what it's like for both of you.
Kiani?
Okay. Looking back on this year, it started out rough. If you would have told me that I would be here in the Sweet 16 and overtime, I wouldn't have believed you. I'm so proud of our coaching staff and the work we put in this summer. Our program has jumped tremendously. We're at a whole nother level, I feel, and this is just the beginning. I was telling the girls in the locker room that this sucks, this feeling sucks, but use this for motivation. We can get back here. Even though I won't be joining them, I'll be joining them in the stands. But it's been a great ride.
Sunny?
Yeah, when the game was over and we were kind of like jogging back to the locker room, it obviously all kind of flashed in front of your eyes just what this means now, and that this last year or these 4 years are over now as a senior. But yeah, we're so proud of our team and our coaches. I don't think anyone at the beginning of this year expected us to go this far, and everyone was like, oh, how's it going to go with a new coaching staff and these seniors graduating, and we've definitely made the best out of it. Like Kiani said, we struggled at the beginning of the year, but we got ourselves together, and especially once conference started, I mean, we were undefeated for most of conference. And then same thing after the Vegas tournament, we really turned it up and stuck together as a group and got this far.
All right, we'll dismiss these student athletes, and once they've left the dais, we'll return to questions for Coach. Questions for Coach Fortier?
Lisa, I thought those were some pretty honest answers by your players about what was happening when Tennessee was kind of coming at them full bore. What were you telling them? What were you thinking?
I was telling them we needed to get stops and not send them to the free throw line. The free throws were a pretty big disparity. Obviously, they made theirs, which was in their favor as well. But at that point, there was and one. They were really diving in there and trying to draw contact, and it was working. And so we switched to a zone. You know, we tried to change up our defenses a little bit, but if you can't get stops, then it doesn't really matter. I mean, we shot the ball great. We'll take 45%. We were 50% in one half and 46 almost in the second. That's good enough to win a game. We tied them on the glass. That's good enough to win a game. I think that the two things were the free throws and then the taking care of the ball and you know, handling their pressure. And they were right. They picked it up late, and we had a good plan in place, and we didn't really execute it. I think that as the pressure increases, we sort of got on our heels a little bit. We forgot about some of the options that we were supposed to be looking for, and it wasn't, again, I don't think it was the shot selection or anything in the half court. We did get a little bit rushed, but once we got it at half court, we were able to get, for the most part, decent shots, but it was I think the backcourt pressure that really affected us.
Free throws. I think they went 22 for 23, or 21 for 22 for the game. Even though they started coming back, you guys kind of got to overtime. They didn't make a field goal in overtime.
Nope, they didn't.
But as a coach, you just feel like the first two games, Sunny came up with that big shot. Tonight, she missed that jumper.
She had some big shots. She made a big shot to tie it a couple times, I think, tonight. I don't think that was the issue. Like I said, we shot the ball well. Sunny had shot the ball 19 times. 12 for 19 is something that we'll take from her in a lot of minutes while she's getting, you know, the heck beat out of her from the behind. Just that's how post play is, you know. And then having to do that on the other end to be really physical, too. So I don't necessarily think it was that, Tom. I mean, the free throws, we didn't shoot them as well as we have most of the year, but we didn't shoot enough of them, I don't think, and that's partially the way we must not have been driving to the basket hard enough to draw the contact.
Hey, Coach. Patrick McCoon, the Daily Beacon. You guys obviously outsized Tennessee for a lot of the game down low with some of your bigs, and Greiniger was coming up with some rebounds, but Sierra Burdick still had 22 and 15. What does that just say about her as a player for this Tennessee squad? Yeah,
she's a great player, and I think that she's definitely a kid who doesn't want to see her season end. We knew that she was going to try and do it for her team in whatever way she could. You know, when she started the year as a wing, and now she's playing the four, and at some points tonight was the biggest player out there on her team, and at halftime, she already had 7 rebounds, I think, or 9, one of the two. And she's a heck of a player. She's tough to guard because she has a mismatch usually because she can shoot it so well from the outside. So she's a nice a nice person to be able to trot out there against a team like us who does almost always have two bigs in there, two true bigs. And so she's like you're literally guarding a guard with a post player, which we've done a lot this year, and that I don't think hurt us off the dribble so much, but more as they're just not as used to having to get close enough to contest her shot, which is where I think she made most of her baskets besides there and at the free throw line.
Lisa, over here. Obviously, you guys did. What did you think you did well that first 13 minutes of the second half to build that lead? And then what part of your plan for handling their pressure did you guys not execute kind of that final 6 minutes?
Well, I think they didn't press us that much. So I think we were getting stops. They picked up the pressure. It was kind of something that we had prepared for, but they had it in their back pocket. They were trying to run some of their three-quarter court stuff. They didn't extend it as far. And so we got pretty comfortable with our press attack being worse in practice than it had been in the game. I mean, we really tried to ramp it up in practice. We had guys out there saying it's going to be a lot, it's going to be a lot. Well, then they come out into the game, and they weren't really getting after us that much in the first half. But then once they picked it up, I think it's like you go through part of the game a certain way, and you get used to how things are going to go. And then once they picked it up, I think that we kind of got on our heels. And we weren't looking up the court. We were trying to rely on dribble everywhere, and then there's always two people coming. And so it's not like you can dribble through it like some zones, and then they just settle back into their half-court pressure. They continue on, and they continue with the traps and that kind of thing. And so I think that's the biggest difference was they picked up their pressure, and then we didn't realize quickly enough. Probably I didn't tell them as quickly as I should have that they were still coming, and they were going to trap, and then they were going to deny the next place. Their press, when it mattered, was very, very good.
We have time for 3 more. We'll start right here.
Up 17, and with the crowd the way it was tonight, were you maybe expecting Tennessee to fade away quietly?
No, programs like Tennessee don't fade away. They never have, and they never will. I mean, they expected to win the game, and I know they haven't been to, maybe some of the stages in the season, or to the Final Four yet with this group and that kind of thing. But they know who they play for, and they know the team on the front of their jersey. And good programs, you don't fade away, you don't give up, and that's certainly not the makeup of this team that they have.
Lisa, how significant was the shot clock violation in the overtime with a couple minutes left?
Yeah, it was one that we would have rather not had. We like the way we offensive rebound for the most part, and so getting ourselves a shot to go and get any rebound would be obviously better than that. It's hard to hear. They were doing a good job with their switching defense, and maybe we should have spread it out and just let somebody drive to the basket at that point. But I think by the time they realized it was a little late.
Last question.
Last question, so I'll make it a two-part. Just a little bit about the crowd, and also, if you would, about your seniors and how they performed tonight.
I love our crowd. I love our city. The way Spokane supports us, specifically our university, but our team, is unparalleled. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be the coach of the women's basketball team in a place like this. And then our seniors, they came up as big as they could. They had the same mentality as Burdick did. They didn't want to let our team lose, and they wanted to keep playing, and I don't think that they wanted the season to end. But I'm very proud of the way that they battled. And Sunny is a thin player, you guys, some of you know, and so the way she just flexed her muscles on there on the glass and stuff, and then Kiani just hassling the other team's point guard, and the way she flies around defensively, I mean, that takes a lot of effort, and you can't just do it willy-nilly or just turn it on here and turn it on there. I mean, that's something they've worked really hard for, and it's been a pleasure coaching both those two, and Lindsay and Laura as well. I love our senior class.
Thank you, Coach. We'll remind you to see Barrett Henderson if you need more from Gonzaga coach and student athletes.